This video right here is quite possibly going to change your trading from this point onwards. And I don't take this lightly when I say this, because I understand many YouTubers out there will probably pull you in with some sort of clickbait title and really trying to drag you throughout the entire video. But genuinely, I say this, from now onwards, you will not look at the markets the same after this entire explanation. The one word I'm going to use throughout this entire video is intention. What is the market showing you in terms of its intention? Now, obviously, that's going to be defined by a few things, and we're going to get into all of the details, but stick around for the entire video. I'm not going to try and make it long as at all. It's going to be, an in-depth explanation. From now onwards, you will seriously understand this topic and never get the direction wrong. Now, you guys have seen on my public Instagram and even the Discord as well, I've given so much free analysis on a weekly basis where I basically show this is possibly where the market is going to move. I give you the direction, and it's basically up to you to really get into your entries. Now, me personally, I use quite a mechanical strategy in terms of my entry models. But when it really comes down to where the market is moving, that really obviously, is quite discretionary. The reason is because the market shows you new things every time. You can't simply say, okay, the market is now reversing because we've had one change of character. Many times that might be a liquidity sweep. It might be an SMC trap, or whatever people like to name it as. There's a lot of things in the markets that complicate it. Now, the one thing I want you to understand before all of this is, why does the market move? For example, Euro USD at this moment in time, for example, we can clearly see EU is moving upwards. Now, the reason it's moving upwards is because from a macroeconomics perspective or a fundamental perspective, the euro has more demand than the dollar. Now, as we've seen in recent times with the monetary policy of US dollar, I'm not going to bore you with that type of stuff because that's not what we're getting into this video, but there's reasons for it. What we want to understand is, using our technical analysis, how can we be sure market is moving in a certain direction? If you understand direction very clearly, your mechanical entry strategy is going to do quite well. The one thing I will say is, stick away from the mechanical strategies that don't really include market direction as well. As an example, I'll talk about the ICT silver bullet strategy. Many people have tested it and they've seen the win rate is not that high. Why? Because it can go against a trend as well. And what we really want to do is stick to the direction and the correct direction. So, enough waffle. I'm going to get straight into it. Before everything, please like and subscribe, because obviously, we are trying to grow the channel, and I hope you guys are really taking value from this. I've been banging out these videos trying to give you as much value as possible. So let's get straight into it. So when it comes to the market, what do I mean by intention? The first thing I want to discuss is this right here. Typically in a trending environment, we know that, the best type of trending environment is when we get nice mitigations to the upside. Sometimes you are going to be wondering, okay, cool, as we get close to this kind of area, are we going to push downwards and then reverse down? Now, this is a very simple model where basically the market needs to show you the intention it's moving down with a change of character by engulfing down very, very effectively. There are times, for example, where price doesn't do this. Instead, what it will do, it will literally just sweep this low over here. Rather than it fully engulfing downwards, it will just put a little wick, and at that point, it will basically reverse to the upside. So this is one of the ways that we can actually tell. There's two things you must sort of look into. The first one is, and let's make this bigger before we get into everything. The first thing you've got to understand is, are we engulfing fully, or is this a liquidity sweep? So these are basically the two ideas you're going to have around certain primary pieces of structure. You're going to understand that as we get more into it, but that's the first thing we need to understand. How is it moving around these kind of areas? Now, let me tell you, as price is starting to push up from certain areas, so say for example here, we've been moving in this downtrend for the longest while. How can we confirm it's a downtrend? Now, obviously, when you look at something like this, we clearly got a high, we've got a low, we've got a high. Again, this low was broken with a break of structure, so we can confirm we're still in a downtrend. This is the most recent high. Again, at this point over here, price started to struggle at the bottom. So what does that show me? If you're struggling to break further down below, we are clearly having signs that price might actually reverse. Okay, cool. So at this point over here, rather than fully breaking it down, we actually started to go upwards. Now let's actually bring price back to this kind of era, and let me tell you my step-by-step thoughts with everything. Now, a lot of people that come into like my Discord and stuff like that. By the way, it's completely free. If you do want the engulfing candle PDF, it is down below for free as well. I'm not going to try and push anything paid at all or any BS like that. But again, a lot of the stuff I do give out is completely free, even these videos. But anyways, this is the thoughts I'm having. If we haven't been able to break that previous low, what I'm thinking is in my head is this. Okay, cool. Short term, what we might be doing is we might simply just be waiting for a pullback to any sort of relevant zone, even this kind of area over here. Again, you can look at sort of support and resistance zones, or you can look at order blocks. It really doesn't matter. Just key zones you want to look for. So in my head, I'm going to be thinking, all right, cool. We're still technically in a downtrend. We might look at this kind of area for sells. If we don't get that, what we might get instead is something like this, where we might get a push up into this imbalance, first of all. So clearly we can see we've got this imbalance zone over here. So I'm just going to mark that as dark gray. At this zone over here, if we get a nice reaction above and it fully closes above, in my head, I'm now thinking, all right, cool. We're potentially going to get a pullback and a continuation to the next zone. So that's my thoughts. All right, let's play this candle by candle. So let's see what happens. As price starts to push up, perfect. So what I'm waiting for now is I'm waiting for a reaction here. Bear in mind, everything I am showing you is going to apply to more about points of interest and the higher time frame. In terms of market executions, please go down below. I have got my entire engulfing candle strategy. I've been using this for about 1.5 years. We have upgraded it to, or optimized it to around 81% win rate. And I basically reveal everything there is towards it. So that is completely down below for free. But here we're looking at the high time frame mainly. In my head, I'm now thinking, all right, cool. We have got an indecision candle over here. We are potentially going to be moving downwards. So I will then, on the lower time frame, look for my entry models. I will see, are there any potential sells that we're going to be looking at? Let's watch the next candles. All right, so that's clearly not what happened. What happened here instead is we've now engulfed above it. Now, in terms of the engulfment above, we do have a big wick as well from this zone. So again, I'm still a bit iffy with that. Let's just see on the next few candles. All right, now I'm basically sure we are basically going to have some continuations to the upside. So within this range, up until here, we have now cleared this zone. Here, here, and here. We've now cleared it fully. What I'm going to be waiting for is for price to return back down to some kind of area and push into this area. Once we get here, we will look at the market intention. Again, it's all about what is the intent of the market. Are we pushing up aggressively or is it liquidity sweep? Again, let's look at the next few candles. All right, so what can I see? We're having more engulfing candles up. All right, now pushing into this kind of area. All right, very nice. So we've now completed the buy move into this kind of zone. What can I see next? We are basically going to wait for a reaction from this zone. Clearly, we are waiting for this kind of zone. Why? Because there's a nice sort of area over here. You know, we've tapped into it quite a few times over here. If you're looking at support resistance, or if you are looking at order blocks, this seems like a valid zone. So I'll basically wait for the lower time frame. At this point, I probably would have seen an entry, you know, even if I go down to the 5 minute. Yep, I can definitely see. As you can tell over here, for example, we've broken structure down. Clearly with some stronger engulfing candles downwards. We've had a tiny bit of a pullback and a few more engulfing candles down. So again, in my thoughts, I'll basically be thinking, let's wait for a bit of a pullback to this kind of zone. Either way, this video is not going to be about the lower time frame. It really is going to be about knowing the market direction. So in general, let's zoom out and let's see how is price moving. Exactly as we've talked about, we've reacted off of this kind of zone. I'm now expecting a reaction here. So what I'm potentially going to be seeing is something like this, where price goes down at least up until here. And then from that point onwards, we'll obviously see. So let's have a quick look. Let's zoom in even further and let's see what the next few candles are presenting us. All right, so now we're starting to push downwards, bit of consolidation. Yep, as expected, price is pushing back into this zone. So at this point now, I will basically be waiting for a lower time frame confirmation. Now, if you want to learn about the lower time frame confirmation, I do talk about that in my free PDF. It's about 30 pages or so. So yeah, basically download that whilst you can. So let's look at market intention again. We're starting to break downwards. If we get a reaction from this zone, I am then going to be looking for sells. So small reaction, one more reaction. Okay, now we're starting to move downwards. So in my head, I'm now thinking, right, if we get further engulfing candles down that breaks this structure, and it has to break this structure, I'm quite clear that for now, we might be looking for sells up until here. But bear in mind, that's if we break this zone over here very clearly. It's consolidating a bit. It's moving quite slowly, starting to reverse up. So now in my thoughts, okay, I'm thinking, right, we might get some sort of reaction there. It's starting to push up. Okay, cool. We've got one candle that's pushing up over there. Let's see if it fully pushes up. We might be continuing down. All right, so it's starting to show me. All right, now at this point, I've got liquidity sweep. Let's see the next few candles. Because it's not an engulfing candle down, remember what I talked about earlier. Where's it gone? I need to see not this. Look, it's the exact same thing is happening. Not a wick candle, but I'm looking for an engulfing candle down. That will show me the big difference in the market. So that liquidity sweep is kind of proving to me, okay, we're not fully breaking down yet. So let's wait for the next few candles. Okay, that looks promising. Cool. At this point, I'm basically on the lower time frames and I'm looking for sells. That's very, very clear in my head. Now, where are we potentially moving to? I guarantee you, we're probably going to move to this kind of area over here quite cleanly. Again, look, next candle as well. There we go. Exactly. Very, very simple. So you can see how do I perfect the higher time frame point of interest type of analysis and everything like that. It's all about market intention. Look at this. We had a few examples. Price reacted, it pushed down, had liquidity sweep. So I needed a pullback and continuation down. As soon as we saw candles starting to really break this zone, this was a liquidity sweep, so I wouldn't consider it. As soon as we started to have these on the lower time frame, I guarantee you some sort of entry would have come up. Now I'm at this zone over here. Let's potentially, because we are within this range, I am now going to be waiting on a reaction from this zone. So what have we done? Let's make this a new zone that we're looking at. This is obviously expired. We've already mitigated it. All right, so now I'm going to be looking for something here. If, for example, we break up, I'm going to be looking for something like this. But where to? Potentially only over here. Because again, we are within this kind of range. You know, we haven't broken out significantly on either side. So I'm going to be waiting for any sort of setups. Price is probably going to consolidate around this zone. Yep, I told you. Because we are in the middle. All right, this is interesting. We're now having a sweep again of this zone. Because it's a sweep, it's nothing significant yet. Okay, engulfing candles downwards. All right, nice. So what it seems like is price is probably aiming for these lows over here. So let's see. Yep. Okay, cool. There we go. So how does this help us? We could have known that as we got these engulfing candles down, all I'm looking for is some lower time frame entries to take me to this sell side liquidity. As soon as sell side liquidity is hit on the higher time frame, just know you're probably going to get a reversal. What have we got? We got a sweep and our price is reversing. Guys, I'm bringing you this video showing exactly my thoughts, candle by candle, how you can perfect the markets. Now, again, no one is perfect at this. And ultimately, it comes to this. You have points of interest, you have reactions from it, but you also need to understand what does like our entry models look like and everything like that. So again, that is the other part of the equation. But again, I've solved that for you with the engulfing candle strategy down below. So I don't know what else you're looking for over here. From a free video on YouTube, you know, I'm giving out a lot of value here. And this is basically everything you need to know. So we've now had this sweep of liquidity. Let's wait for price action. If I get, let's delete some of the stuff previously. If I get any reaction above this zone over here, so above this zone, and engulfing candles up, I'm going to be waiting on something like this. So let's just see how that pans out. But we have to wait on the first zone to be broken first. So it seems like price is consolidating even more. None of this price action appeals to me. Okay, we're starting to break up. All right, nice. So let's wait for now a reaction around this kind of zone. Perfect. So we've already got it. Now let's see. If this engulfs up, yeah, perfect. So now I'm going to be looking for buys. So from here, all the way up to at least here, the next key zone that I'm looking at, I'm going to be looking for buys. So let's see. There we go. So price has now fully broken it. This zone is now no longer valid because we've had an engulfing candle up. So I'm going to be waiting for price to continue to the next zone. It's all about levels in the market. Many people will come to you and, you know, people that have experience in the market, they'll teach you this, and they will literally say when the market is kind of split up in certain zones and certain levels. Some people define them through numbers. Some people define them through support and resistance. I define them through supply and demand. It really doesn't matter. As long as you have key zones that you look at and reactions from it. That's all we're going to be looking at. So again, I can expect this to push upwards. At that point, we would then consider, right, is price going to push down or is it going to push upwards? It really is going to depend. So let's continue onwards, right? Some sort of reaction. It's not, at this point, I'd probably say we're going to get a reaction from like this zone and then potential reaction up. All right, let's just see how it reacts there. At any point, it could start to engulf upwards. All right, so it's engulfing down. So I'm not going to be looking for buys at the moment. Okay, what's happening is we're starting to get sells. So at this point, I'm holding off in the market. I'm trying to get clear market intention. What is happening right here? It seems like we're pushing more to the downside at the moment. So let's just see. I need either... I should probably... oh, the brush is actually marked up. Oh, there it is. So I want to see a break above there or there. Let's see. All right, so nothing clear yet. We've had a sweep above. Again, just liquidity sweep. So it seems like market is just consolidating. So I'm not really interested. All right, boom. That's the first major reaction I've looked for. What do I see? Okay, this is very clear to me. I see something like this. Let's just see how that pans out. Okay, cool. So we're having further pushes upwards. What's even better, we've had clear change of character up there. So now I have even more clear market intention that price is going to be pushing upwards. We've now had a complete change of character up above with this engulfing candle. Where can we potentially look towards to move? It's going to be around this kind of zone. So again, with the amount of detail that I've gone through in this video, you're clearly seeing how do I react from certain zones. And all this is, and I'm being completely honest, this has only come from market experience. Like, somebody could show you they hit 1 to 20 in a month or whatever, but when you see it live in front of your eyes, somebody analyzing the market and seeing the reactions from these zones again and again and again, you can clearly see that, bro, this guy has experience. All it comes down to now is how you execute on the lower time frame. And again, like I've described, the free PDF is completely down below. So my intentions are basically waiting for, a pullback. All right, nice. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Let's wait for a reaction at this zone over here. Oh, bro, if this happens, I've done this too many times on this video. Look, there we go. Okay, cool. So price gave us that. We would have been waiting for price to pull back and then continue up, but it hasn't happened. It engulfed down. So let's wait for the next reaction, which is going to be here. But my charts are probably getting a bit messy now, but I'll clear it up eventually. So let's see. All right, so I need a clearance of this zone. Nice, we've got it. So what I'm going to be waiting for is something like this. Let's just delete a few things, to be honest. So let's just clear out some zones just to make it a bit neater. All right, cool. What I'm going to be waiting for is basically this kind of zone over here, or even further. Let's wait for a reaction now. Okay, cool. Price is giving me a bit of a reaction, consolidating a bit. The next engulfing candle that engulfs up, I'm pretty good to go in a way with our lower time frame entries. And as you can see, what price does, starts to move up. Now at this point, I'm basically looking at order flow. I can clearly see that we are moving sort of in phases. So what it seems like we're doing is we're possibly doing this kind of thing, and we're pushing up at least up until here. So again, let's see. Yep, there we go. Again and again and again. So guys, you can clearly see this is exactly how you're meant to react from the market. If I was to ask you what's going to happen next, you can clearly see we are reacting from this zone. Let's see your reaction up until here. It's always about where you look at zone to zone, level to level, and we basically trade between these levels. So if you really wanted to, you can make a mechanical strategy in terms of execution, but in terms of how the market moves, that only depends on, like this type of analysis. Reactions, supply and demand zones, or support and resistance, whatever you want to do, and then also sort of pullbacks and stuff like that. But you've seen throughout this entire video, live in front of your eyes, everything I have shown you, you can do it yourself as well. All it takes is just more market experience, Now, I'll tell you one thing, you can speed that up by basically backtesting and reversing time, because you can speed things up, obviously, to a quicker level. You can get this analysis done day after day, and obviously in just a few minutes of time. So anyways, I hope this entire video has helped you, with everything that we've talked about. A lot of detail throughout this entire thing, but I hope now it makes sense. You know, so many clear examples. The low over here was breached with what? A liquidity sweep. Price then had a change of character up. It broke upwards. It then had a retracement down and a continuation. Once it had a clear continuation here, what did it do? It reversed down, continued upwards. All we're looking for is reactions from clear zones, and that is it. So from now on, you should pretty much be clear with all your analysis. The only next step is to basically get your lower time frame market executions sort of on point, and I have that entire free PDF down below. So again, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. This is possibly one of the most amount of value that I've given in any video at all, because you're seeing everything live as well. All I ask from you is if you can like and subscribe, and in a way, just get the word out. Again, if you did like everything, please comment your thoughts down below. And again, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.